interesting time, really, isn't it, for the US, because they're in a difficult position. They've got one president on the way out and another president on the way in, with very different viewpoints when it comes to Syria.
Very much so, and in a very unusual move, we see incoming President Donald Trump really taking to the world stage. Usually in this transition, the incoming president just basically stays out of the spotlight and lets the current president be president. But yes, it is a very interesting time. So we're hearing our first fresh comments from the Pentagon. Major General Patrick Ryder putting out a statement on social media saying that the 900 or so U.S. troops there in Syria, their mission remains the same, to defeat ISIL, and that they remain there. They continue to have the ability, the inherent ability, he wrote, to self-defense. So trying to send the message that the U.S. troops should be left alone. Obviously, that is going to be the top concern for the Biden administration. And we've heard officials from the Biden administration express concerns about HTS. It is a designated terrorist organization in the United States. And really very mild statement so far, just saying that they are monitoring the situation and keeping in contact with allies in the region. And again, as we mentioned, Donald Trump will be president in just over about a month's time. And he has taken to social media saying this U.S. should stay out of it in Syria. Remember, when he was president, he ordered the removal of those U.S. troops from Syria. And his Secretary of Defense, Jim Mattis, actually left because of that. The troop numbers did fall, but the presence remained to around 400. So he's signaling that the U.S. will take its forces out of Syria when he becomes president. He put out a statement on social media basically defending Russia, saying that Assad, they'd lost the interest in defending Bashar al-Assad, writing Russia, Russia, Russia in the statement. And then said maybe China could help end the war in Ukraine. So his focus is clearly on the current meeting he just had with the Ukrainian president. So again, very interesting time in the U.S. We're seeing the Biden administration saying they're going to stay, the Trump administration signaling that the U.S. will leave.
Patty, thanks very much for the update there from Washington, D.C. So, to contemplate all of that, let's join Marwan Bashar, Al Jazeera senior political analyst, joins us now from London. Hi Marwan. It seems that, well, Europe is sort of quiet at the moment. The US President-elect saying that the US should stay out of it. One wonders whether the US or any other interested party will remain out of it, or are there interested parties that want to be involved?
Well, let's end the year with a positive note and say I definitely agree with the next president of the United States. Everyone should stay out. You know, everyone failed Syria. Everyone failed Syria the past dozen years. And it's time for everyone to stay out and certainly not lecture Syria about what to do and how to do, and certainly not interfere in the business of Syria as it moves to transition, hopefully, to democracy. It's already a very complicated picture for the Syrians. They have a bureaucracy that they need to maintain without major descent to violence. They have to create a new political transitional council and governance without necessarily destroying the existing civil administration within the country. They have to maintain the army without having any of the poisonous elements from the old regime. It's going to be already a very complicated process for the Syrians, and the last thing they need is foreign interference that is meant to destabilize the country or that does not care about the stability of the country. In the end of the day, the stability of Syria will be a very important factor for the stability of the region.
There are so many armed groups
foes or friends.
My apologies, Marwan, please finish.
Yeah, be right.
There are so many armed groups, aren't there, though, in Syria with so many needs and wants. How difficult is it going to be for HTS and Abu Mohammed al-Jilani to actually bring everybody on board, in your opinion? Because, again, regionality, factionality, tribalism is all there, isn't it, within sort of the Middle East culture, certainly in Syrian culture?
Well, look, I'm not sure if there's anything in the Middle Eastern culture that's a whole subject for another day, but There is an inheritance of 60 years of dictatorship of the Assad family. 60 years, or at least 50 plus years and 60 years of Ba'ath Alawite rule in Syria. So, if anything, what needs to happen now is to reverse that period of dictatorship, that culture of dictatorship that did divide the Syrians into sects and did have a majorities and minorities and did carry the most horrific crimes under the pretext of protecting minorities and so on and so forth. So now things have to be made clear that Syria is for all Syrians. Syria is for all its citizens. And there is no one militant group, regardless of its Julanis or the Syrian National Army or whatever, that represents all Syrians, even the majority of Syrians. That's why both the military militant groups need to come together under a political leadership that also is encompassing of the various opposition trends within the country. So this definitely is going to be diverse, it's definitely going to be pluralistic, and it's definitely going to be very difficult. But there is no any other way forward. Judging from the past few days, it seems that this is becoming more and more feasible. Extraordinary, because what we've seen happening in Halab and Hama in the last few days is certainly a good example, a good pilot to the way forward. But it certainly cannot happen if foreign countries are going to try to weigh in and try to influence and try to blackmail the various components of the Syrian revolutions. That includes, as I said, the friends and the foes. Because even those who were involved in the Astana process and those who were involved in the Arab League that just a few months ago welcomed Assad, with the exception of a couple of countries, of course, all of those have not did Syria well. So I think for now they need to support, not hinder, the move towards a more democratic Syria, a more pluralistic Syria, a more diverse Syria, a more humane Syria, free of fear. A free Syria, free of fear.
We shall see what